guys, welcome back to your 18th tutorial. Shh, shh, close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes and imagine that you're making a computer program. And imagine that you're making a computer program where the user has to enter a name of a girl, like Taylor or Natalie or Ashley or Rebecca. And depending on what name they enter, it gives them a custom response, like, ooh, you love Natalie, or Ashley likes you too, or something like that. So let's go ahead and try to make this. Well, the first thing we need is a variable named, we'll just name it girl, and we'll set it equal to, set it Natalie, since Natalie Portman is my dream girl. And now, in order to make this program, you might be thinking this. With the tools we have so far, we'll just go ahead and write if girl is equal to Natalie, and then we can go ahead and do our thing, and then later we can write if girl is equal to Emily, if girl is equal to Hannah, if girl is equal to Reese, and we can go ahead and list all the girls that they could enter and do it that way. But a lot of if statements get kind of messy, so there's an easier way to make kind of this same program type. Instead of using a bunch of if statements, you can use something called a switch statement. A switch statement takes one variable, which is the girl in this case, and it tests them for all the possible scenarios. And it's basically the same as writing a bunch of if statements, but it's just a much more organized way. So let's go ahead and let me show you the syntax for this. Is actually switch, just like that, and right after it, you write the name of the variable. You only write the name of the variable, nothing else. You don't set it equal to anything, just that. Now go ahead and make a body and give you some space. And now for each case scenario, we're going to call it a case. Now for the first case, you give it the value of what it can be equal to. For example, in the case of Natalie, and go ahead and add a colon, not a semicolon, just go ahead and add a colon. And now you write something like this. If girl is equal to Natalie, then go ahead and write whatever you want to do. Document, write, you must like Garden State, because that's my favorite movie with Natalie Portman, believe it or not. And then after you're done executing the code, you go ahead and write the word break, and I'll tell you why later. So now we already have a case scenario for Natalie, and this is basically the syntax of what we're going to do for all the case scenarios. So let's go ahead and copy that. Copy, paste. In the case of Ashley, since I like Ashley Green too, be like, ooh, fan of Twilight, eh? With a question mark. And we keep doing that for each girl. So I'm only going to do 2 girls now, but if you did 100, 1,000, a million, it's going to be the same syntax. You write your switch in the variable that you want to test, and in the body, write case with a colon, the code with a semicolon, and break at the end. Now, I guess I can do this. The reason that you have break is this. Say you have a list of like 50 girls. Well, it's going to test this one, and then it's going to test this one, and then it's going to test the next 48 and test them all until it gets to the answer. Well, check this out. Since our girl is equal to Natalie right now, what break means is this. As soon as I get to this and I find an answer or find a value that that variable equals, then there's no need to test the rest of these. So I'm just going to break out of it right now and go to right to the end. So if you have like Natalie, Ashley, Brittany, Emily, as soon as it gets to Natalie, it's going to say, alright, I found my match, I'm going to break. If you didn't have that break, it's going to go continue testing the rest of your stuff, and it's just going to cause a mess. Why would you want to make your computer test the rest of your answers when you already found your answer? It doesn't make sense. So that's what that little break word means. So you're saying, alright, let's go ahead and run this by default and see what we like. You must like Garden State. Alright, so as predicted, this program worked perfectly. But what if we have a name like Emily, and we go ahead and save this and run and see what happens? Well, nothing runs because we only had a choice for Natalie and Ashley. Well, there are a lot of names that people can enter that probably aren't going to be in this list. And probably, names that are one of a kind no one ever heard of. So if you want to give your switch a default statement that says, all right, I'm going to first go through my list of all my options. And if I can't find a match, then I'm just going to give you a default answer. So in order to give a default answer, here's what you do. default, and notice that we don't write anything in here because there is no like answer or value for default. It's the default. It's basically if you got to this and it didn't work and this it didn't work, then I'm gonna go here to default. So if all of your pretty much your cases don't match, then this is what you get. So by default, just go ahead and write something like yeah, I'm definitely copying this. Default, write something like this is the default. So check it out. And another thing, you don't need a break at the end of your default since it's the last choice. So remember I said a break is pretty much to save you time saying, all right, once you found your answer, then just break out of it and go continue with the next thing. Don't go through all the rest of the cases. Well, you can add a break at the end of default, but it would be worthless since if you get to the default, you're already at the end and you already ran out of all your cases. So what's the break out of? It's not skipping over anything, and it's not going to help you any to break out of it now. You're already at the end. So anyways, that's why you don't need one. So let's go ahead and test this variable Emily right now. We have the variable Emily. So what's going to happen is this. JavaScript's going to say, all right, does Emily equal Natalie? Nope. Does Emily equal Ashley? Nope. So I guess I'm just going to give you the default. This is your default statement. So go ahead and save this. And as you can see, this is default. So now let's go ahead and give it like Ashley, just like that. And now go ahead and save it. And it's going to say, all right, does Natalie equal Ashley? Nope. Does Ashley equal Ashley? Well, indeed it does. So I'm going to go ahead and print out this, just like he told me. And then I'm going to go ahead, and then I'm going to go ahead and break. So no need to even worry about this at all. So let's go ahead and save it and check it out. Ooh, fan of Twilight, eh? Ashley Green, not bad. So that's the basics of a switch statement and how you can use a switch statement to save you from writing a whole bunch of ifs. And this is actually a whole lot easier to maintain. And you can just look through your code, and it's just a whole lot easier whenever we build programs that actually do something other than me talking about the girls I have a crush on. That's what it does. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and Natalie Portman, if you're watching, call me.